Good morning, it's Achilles from the car again. I want to go over a couple of things this morning that are coming into focus with the markets being really more neutral today, more than anything. So we're seeing that the interest rate cuts are not a foregone conclusion, but it seems that the odds are going up. I believe at this particular point that the Fed has no alternative. I'm going to talk about it later on. I'm going to be on a couple of broadcasts. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. I don't think that the Fed is going to go 50 basis points or anything dramatic. They're going to do 25 basis points, and that will lower the overnight rates by a quarter percent. So that being said, not going to see a heck of a lot of commitment in this market until we see that cut or no cut. Another thing, a couple of areas that we here at Larrea Wealth are looking at, we're looking at quantum computing. We see that the quantum computing, think of it this way, you're on a bicycle, right? And you're just doing your regular pedaling and the like. Quantum computing is not too much different, where, all of a sudden, imagine that same bicycle going 1,000 times faster. You get to your destination a lot faster. You run a lot more efficient. You're not expending as much energy. It's like having a super battery there. So that's another area we're looking at. We've talked about nuclear. This isn't 3 Mile Island anymore. We're talking about portable nuclear reactors. And, the talk is that they're going to become even much smaller than what they are. So that's another area that we're looking at. There was talk this morning about Microsoft pulling back the artificial intelligence spending that they're doing, and that sent the stock downward. For them to do it at this point without this, there's not going to be a big return in the future going forward. But the thing you have to take into consideration is that because AI really is in its infancy, we're not looking at a big bubble per se yet. There will be segments, there will be pauses as we're going along, but I don't really see this as a bubble currently. So that's another thing to take stock of. The other thing I would look at we talked about, well, we didn't, but I've talked about this on other mediums, but we look at Nvidia, we look at Palantir. Let's just take Nvidia for argument's sake. Google is now have a competition for Nvidia, and I say good, let that happen. Competition here has grown this country by leaps and bounds. You want to have competition in different segments. It forces your companies to get lean, to innovate, to be more productive. So these are the things that I think as a whole could be very beneficial to the portfolio. And I say, hey, Nvidia, Alphabet, Google, why not own them both? You don't have to own a ton of it. So who works well with Larrea Wealth? You're that guy or gal who just doesn't want to deal with the financial every day. You need somebody in your corner. Guess what? We can help with that. You're about to retire. You're not sure about your choices. You're being offered a lump sum. You got a week to decide. This was very common with a lot of my clients from Verizon over the years, past 30 years. You are in transition. Either you were forced out, or you forced yourself out. Guess what? You have some decisions to make. You're going to leave your 401k with a job that cared nothing about you. You got to ask yourself, why would I do that? Larrea Wealth can help you with these decisions and more. If you're looking to minimize your taxes and maximize your returns, we might be the firm for you. So, how do you get in touch with us? The best way is to DM me on social media or YouTube or Rumble, wherever you feel, you could contact me fastest. You could also, believe it or not, you can call my office. And that's 212-390-8918. that will put you in touch with us. If you qualify, we'll get you on my calendar and we'll talk even more. I like to give people the benefit of a doubt. A lot of times what happens is that they think they need something and they may not. And I'll be honest with you, I've run into situations over the past 30 years where there was nothing I could do for a client because they were all set. And I'll tell you that if that's the case. But 99% of the time, they need help. You'll need help. And I'm happy if we can. And if we're not a fit, I'll tell you that as well. And I'll recommend somebody else for you. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Aquiles Larrea, Larrea Wealth Management.